I quit to travel and somehow ended up here. By 2018, I was working 5, 6, 7 days a week as a nurse in the hospital. These are 12-hour shifts, over 70 hours a week. On the outside, everything looked fine. But the feeling started much earlier, around 2016. I knew something in my life had to change. My entire identity was my job. I was a nurse. Over time, I stopped believing in the system I was part of. Vacations stopped helping. The uneasiness always returned. I was busy, on a hamster wheel, repeating the same patterns, but not really living. What scared me most wasn't leaving, it was staying. I realized the worst that could happen was going back to work, but the bigger risk was never finding out who I was without my job. So I decided to listen to that quiet voice inside me and try something different. The decision didn't feel dramatic. It felt like a door quietly opening. I was already preparing, working overtime, saving every dollar, even living in my car for a while to cut expenses. I kept asking myself, how much is enough? When is the right time? Then a friend said something simple. If you keep waiting, you'll never go. That night, I bought a one-way ticket to Bogota. In that moment, I knew I was closing a chapter. Not running away, but choosing a different way to live. It wasn't a crisis. It was a quiet knowing. I never questioned doing this alone. I wanted to. I needed space to hear myself again, to learn who I was without the noise. Many people worried, especially because I am a woman, but I trusted myself. I knew I could work. I knew I could adapt. And if it didn't work, I could always return. But deep down, I knew I wouldn't be the same person. The journey wasn't about escaping. It was about becoming. I chose to volunteer, not just to save money, but to live inside the places I visited. Hostels, shared rooms, street food, simple meals. Slowly, I realized how little I actually needed. I'd spent years earning more and wanting more. Now I was earning less and feeling richer. The less I owned, the lighter I felt. The more I worked with my hands, the more alive I became. This is where my love for the land began. Less showed me more. Colombia was my first country, and somehow my heart kept returning. The pace, the climate, the connection people had with the land. Here, the life I wanted felt possible. On my third visit, I met Rafa, the person I am with today, and everything began to align. The cost of living, the land, the feeling of sustainability. This wasn't just a place to visit, it felt like a place to stay. The farm was never the plan, it was the result. After years of volunteering, I realized I could create this life myself. A place to grow food, to live simply, to work on my dreams, not someone else's. Putting down roots was just as scary as leaving, but it felt right. This became the second best decision of my life. I didn't leave to escape. I left to live intentionally, even before I knew what that meant. I stopped letting fear design my life and started listening to myself. And it led me here, to a slower, quieter, fuller life. If you're questioning your life, you're not failing. You're becoming aware. It takes courage to choose your path, not the one that's expected. Sometimes you have to strip everything away to discover what truly matters. For me, that changed everything.